What's up guys, Valence Ring here, and I wanted to bring you this special video. I know a lot of people have been asking about heroes, and so this isn't entirely about heroes, but this is all about, is this the strongest lineup for Arena? Now, I can honestly answer and say probably not, but it probably is one of the strongest for Arena. So I want to talk a lot about heroes in general, and I will have a lot of videos on heroes specifically, and what I want to talk about is the synergy of the heroes. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say if I go in here, I can look and I can attack this, and I'm not going to, but I want to show you this lineup. This is the lineup that I think is absolutely hands down one of the best in game that I've found so far. Obviously it helps if they're all high level. It helps if they're, red star or up, or +5 and up, and obviously over 310. And then with the new nano weapons, obviously the better the nano weapon, the more effective your hero is going to be in battle, especially for, like, Arena, Hero Dual Glory, and things like that. But this lineup right here: Atropos, Phoenix, Fox, Ulrich, and Myers. This is a lot. This showcases exactly how well this lineup works together. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do the battle, and then maybe I'll talk a little bit more about it. But as you can see, I'm going up against a +6 Red Star Requiem at level 350, high level Ulrich, Myers, Eve, and Obsidian. Now this lineup that I have does have a few weaknesses that I might talk about later, but against this lineup I should be able to win, and I want to show you the trick for it. This absolutely has to be one of the best lineups in the game right now, so we'll see. But the first thing I want to mention is, obviously you don't want to auto battle. You really don't want to auto battle with this lineup, but the main thing that you're looking for is you want every hero of yours to have their skill go off at the same time, and I'll get into that. But so right now what I'm doing is I want to make sure that I get every single hero's skill up first before I do anything else. Once I have every hero's skill up, I don't care too much what they're doing to me. I care more about what I'm going to do to them once I'm ready. Now, as you can see, everyone but Atropos is up. I'm actually going to do one more hit here and see if I can get Atropos there. Alright, so now here's the thing. Obviously you see I still have a red bomb, and that's great. But here's the trick. With all of these heroes' skills all at the same time, a huge effect is going to happen. So first things first, I'm going to hit Myers. This is going to remove any buffs that the enemies have. It's also going to lower their attack and raise our attack. But because he adds a debuff to your heroes, we're going to go ahead and hit Fox. Fox removes that miss debuff that you might be familiar with. So now all of our heroes have a +80% attack, but with no debuff on missing. Now I'm going to hit Ulrich. Ulrich is going to share damage across to everybody. Now sometimes I think that that's a bad thing. It's actually considered a buff. But in this lineup, I'm using it as a weapon. I want all of their heroes to take all the damage all at the same time, because what I'm going to do is hit them with Phoenix. Phoenix with +80 attack and no miss debuff, plus every round that goes on, her attack raises up. So right now her attack is really high. Watch what she does to the other team. Alright, she killed one and almost wiped out the others. Now with Atropos, I'm going to target their healer. So I'm going to hit Eve. Boom. Oh, I missed. It does happen. That had nothing to do with Myers. That just happened to miss. But normally that would have reduced her rage, so that would have prevented any healing. But now they're all taking damage. I'm going to use this smart bomb here and just see almost every single one of them are almost zeroed already. Phoenix goes again, and again, all of their hit points are just so low right now. And that's pretty much it. I know it might not seem crazy. Eve is going to heal. But as you can see, I pretty much wiped out almost their entire regimen in pretty much one hit. And they got lucky because my Atropos missed. If Atropos would have hit, Eve wouldn't have been able to heal, and they would all be dead right now. So that's pretty much it. As you can see, they took Phoenix's damage for 3 or 4 rounds, and it's very hard to survive from that. I'm going to go ahead, and this lowers their defense again, as well as adds that spread damage. Remove their buffs, hit Eve with Atropos, and hopefully I don't miss. She's gone. Now it's all a matter of Obsidian taking some final damage here, and then he'll be gone as well. And Obsidian's a tough character, but that was a +6 Requiem, some really high characters, and I did it without flinching. There was no question in my mind at any time that I was going to lose that battle. So why does this work is probably a big question that people have, and what I want to show you is each hero, really their skills. So you go in, let's just look at Ulrich really quick. You're looking at their hero skills and his enhanced active skill. So anytime his skill goes off, his rage is full and his skill goes off, all of these activate, okay? So Unbending increases his block rate by 30%. You have to have him red star to get that one. But he increases all allies' defense, and he reduces all foes' defense. And then he increases dodge by 20%. So Ulrich is great at us. Well, one, he also, his Destiny Bond evens out damage taken among all allies and foes respectively for 6 rounds. So normally that's considered a good thing, because if one person hits you, instead of it being a really strong attack, it gets distributed across. But if you hit everybody with a really strong attack, they share that damage. It can be used as a weapon instead of a good thing. It actually counts as a buff. So if you were to use Ulrich and then Myers, it's going to remove it because it's considered a buff. Now you can do that. I don't recommend it. My recommendation is let him spread that damage out, especially with Phoenix, because she's going to hit everybody anyways. So it's going to just stack the damage, and it's going to be really, really good damage. And in that way, every tile that hits everybody. You can wipe out an entire lineup really quick. So that's one thing that we were looking for, is how do these skills work together? So with Ulrich, you're spreading out the damage, which we're using as a weapon. You're reducing their defense, so you're making them more susceptible to damage. And then, of course, you're adding buffs to your heroes to allow them to, reduce damage taken and things like that. Now, with Myers, he ties in directly with that. His hero skills is he increases all allies' attack by 80%, but also reduces their hit by 35%, which means they have a 35% greater chance of missing. So that's pretty high, but it's offset by the high attack percent. But when you use Myers with Fox, you remove the hit drop by 35%. So all you get is the bonus of the attack. And I've talked about that before in other videos. But as you can see, enhanced active skill reduces all allies hit by 25%. So once you get them leveled up enough, it actually drops from the 35 to 25%, which is good, because that's only a quarter of the time you're basically going to miss. So if you hit the full board, chances are you're going to hit everybody except for maybe one person, like Phoenix. When she hits, she might miss 1 out of those 5, maybe 2, but realistically she should hit just about everybody. And then he reduces all foes' attack by 20% for 5 rounds. So if he's reducing the attack and Ulrich is boosting your defense, then it makes it really hard for them to do damage to you, which means you can survive longer and give Phoenix's burn time to really kick in. It also dispels all foes buffed, gained via active skills. So what that means is if they have a buff that isn't from an active skill, it doesn't apply. But for instance, Fox increases defense, it removes that buff. So that's why it's important to use him first, because you get rid of all the added buffs to the enemies, and it basically starts them off square one, base heroes. And then, of course, he also has an increased block rate of 30% once you level him up to red star. So tying in Ulrich, Myers, Fox, her hero skills again increases allies' defense by 63% for 5 rounds. So what this means is with Ulrich and Fox stacking, you're getting 125% or more defense increase. You're increasing your defense by 125% with both of them together. It removes any debuffs that you have. So if there's any debuffs such as losing your attack or your attacks down or anything like that, it's going to remove those. And then, of course, she has a chance to stun the target upon death, which we don't want her to die. And her crit rate goes up by 30%. Now that's important because that means any blue tiles, these apply to the tiles too, if you weren't aware of that. So if her crit rate is up 30%, the tile itself also it increases the crit rate of that tile by 30%. So all blue tiles, at least with her stats, are going to have an increased chance of critically hitting the enemies, which does a percentage extra of damage. A crit hit is a percentage extra of damage to those enemies based off the tiles. Not necessarily her attack, but the tiles themselves too. We're down to Atropos and Phoenix. So Atropo's hero skill, she's the only one that doesn't necessarily work well with the others. Like, she doesn't directly benefit them and they don't directly benefit her. But what she does is she dispels the target's buffs and reduces the target's rage by 40%. So what we're looking for is to prevent the healers from being able to fill their rage, especially after we've used all the skills. Then we can use her to block a healer from filling rage and healing before they die. Because a 40% drop in rage means that we have at least 1, maybe 2 rounds at least where they're going to take more damage. And then of course, she heals herself. She converts 70% of damage dealt into hit point restoration, which is great. And Decay, she reduces all foes' heals rate by 50% for 4 rounds, unable to dispel. So that means even if a healer is able to activate, like you saw, she missed. If she wouldn't have missed, it would have been a lot quicker of a battle. But even if she doesn't miss, even if she doesn't kill them outright, and she reduces their rage, even if they do happen to fill their rage, it's going to reduce that heal effect by 50%. So this lineup is really, really hard to survive if you can get all of your heroes up and activated all at the same time. Phoenix, of course, most of you know, I'm sure you hate seeing her in arena. She does 205% damage to all foes and renders the target ignited for 5 rounds. Now the new hero Chiho, he is designed to prevent that ignite. But 5 rounds of burn damage is what you're looking at, and that's what we want. In addition to the fact that her crit rate goes up by 30%, and if you look at the overheat, at the start of the battle, increases attack by 5% every round up to 80%. So it takes quite a few rounds to get from 5 to 80. But even if it's, you're 10 rounds in, that's a 50% increase. Add that on top of Myers' 80% increase, and you're looking at a 130% increase to her stats attack. And that's great. And then, of course, she increases all rash style allies' rage regen rate by 10%, unable to dispel. Now, she's the only rash style hero in my lineup, so that doesn't necessarily apply, but it does still apply to her. So her rage regen rate is still increased by 10%, I do believe. So if you look at that attack, 2,878, which is absolutely huge, one of the biggest in game. She's only +5 red star, while Atropos is +6, and she's only got 2,500. Requiem 2455, even McCarty. So Phoenix has some of the highest attack in game. You add on that plus, whatever percentage you get from each round that she's alive, add Myers onto that without a miss, and Phoenix does some of the most damage you are going to find in game. So that's why I use that lineup. I think it has to be one of the best lineups in game. And I don't use it for my defense. It's much better as an offense because you have to coordinate when you use the skills, and that's an important trick to do. I use this as my defense right now. Phoenix and McCarty with Atropos in the middle. She really prevents people from filling up their rage really quick. Myers, of course, kills any buffs that they have. Fox removes your debuffs, and Phoenix and McCarty both do a lot of damage over time. This is a pretty strong defense, but the offensive line I showed you is the one I want to show you. I think you should consider trying that out. It's probably going to cost me in the long run. Unfortunately, I don't like sharing all my secrets, but that's what I'm here for, to show you guys what I got, and I hope that helps. Give the video a like if it does. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.